Hi, my name is Temetra. I'm doing my refutation speech on my opponent's main claim that OH vehicles and their owners and users have a positive impact on the environment and the community in which they exist. My opponent gives three main claims to this: that one, pollution emanated by the OHV vehicles is not excessive; two, club membership supports environmentalism; and three, people who are part of clubs influence people in their community in a positive way. My main response to his claim is that there is a negative impact on the environment and the community by OH vehicles and their users. For my first response to my opponent's claim is, although OH vehicles themselves do not emit a lot of pollution, their effect on the environment is polluting. It undermines his claim because the claim doesn't focus on the issue of pollution that the vehicles create. OHV vehicles affect the air quality. The air quality is affected when the OHV traffic rises dust and emitted by byproducts of combustion. Primary combustion byproducts potentially affecting air quality is use areas include sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxides, which was studied by the Journal of Air Pollution Control Association. Another effect by OH vehicles is on vegetation. Plants are affected by OHV activities in several ways. Soil compaction affects plant growth by reducing moisture availability and precluding adequate taproot penetration to deepen soil horizons. And this study was done by the Journal of Applied Ecology. Another effect that OH vehicles have is on the wildlife and habitats for native plants and animals impacted by OHV uses in several ways. It reduces the habitat and connectivity by disrupting plant and animal movement and dispersal, resulting in the potential for recolonization of the species. Wildlife is also directly affected by OHV activity by them collapsing burrows. They have inner air bleedings from these OHV vehicles, and vehicle-animal collision, which can occur, could lead to the decline in the local population. And this was done by a study by Fish and Wildlife Services. For my opponent's second claim, he only gives evidence for only one club having to clean the environment. There's no evidence given for other clubs helping the environment. It undermines his claim because the lack of evidence that clubs contribute to environmentalism, when really it's the environmental groups that are the main contributors of environmental cleanup. The Bureau of Land Management organizes large volunteer cleanup, partnering with local organizations, including the Mojave Desert Land Trust, the Morongo Bison Conservative Association, the 29 Palms Historical Society, and Community ORV Watch. And they also participate in an annual National Public Lands Day. There was no evidence for his third point, the support that the club members influence the community in a positive way. Just the opposite. People in the community are upset by the OHV users. His claim is undermined because a generalization was made that club members are friendly and go out to meet other people. The community is upset with the noise and the pollution that is caused by the OH vehicles and their owners. And a local paper by the Community ORV Watch, the BLM, the Community ORV Watch, and other 50 volunteers had to participate in the removal of trash from illegal off-road vehicle activity and post-homestead. Incidents like this, along with regular ongoing noise, dust, and trespassing harassment of the citizens who object, are why the efforts of the Community ORV Watch and others who are negatively affected by the abuse over RVs goes on. In another incident in Rasburg, residents were upset over the dust and noise being stirred up when OH highway vehicle riders come into their town every weekend. This is said by a resident of Rasboro. He says, "I don't approve of the dust, I don't approve of all the noise, and I don't approve of having to watch the boys take a leak on the wall." As you can see, OHV vehicles and their users have a negative impact on the environment and the community.
I have an evaluation form. I don't know if I've got one, so I'll have to wait here. All right, all the structural issues are fine. You do a good job signposting and letting us know where you're going. You're going to be taking generally a counterclaim strategy on most of the supporting points. On the pollution issue, I remember talking to you about this and discussing what it was that you were going to try and accomplish here, and I think you only got partially through that. I didn't think it was quite as clear what the argument was that you were making as it was when we discussed it, there are various kinds of pollution that are being problematic here, and that the advocate failed to identify the ones that are in fact potentially difficult for people. I did like the claims on the environment, though, that were specific to the vegetation and the wildlife and all those sorts of things. I thought you had some good evidence on those points. On the second point, you've got a good challenge to the generalization, although you then follow it up with an example that makes it sound like there are multiple groups involved in these voluntary efforts coordinated with the BLM, and all of a sudden you've got a better example for his argument than he had on this particular point, and I think that's a little problematic. You use that information. I know you're trying to make a different inference from it, but I think that it actually supports the advocate's claim a little bit more. On the third point, though, you do get to a couple of places where there is maybe some recovery from that. There's a discussion about why you need to have this kind of volunteer group because of all the problems that they cause. And then I did like the complaint from the resident that says, there are other issues that are going on here, and contrast that with the evidence that the advocate presented. I think you could do a little bit better job doing that contrast, and it would make the argument more effective. Thank you.